Hey sis, let me ask you something. Did you ever feel like no matter how hard you try, you just cannot stay patient with your kids, especially when things don't go the way that you planned? Maybe you catch yourself thinking, nothing ever goes the way that I want. My kids are doing this on purpose to upset me. Why can't I just get it together like other moms? And before you know it, the negativity turns into a frustrated, ugly attitude. You start blaming your kids for your reactions, trying to control their behavior, the schedule, and the outcome, holding yourself and them to unrealistic expectations. And when that day falls apart, so do you. I used to live there too. The constant negative thinking and defeated mindset kept me stuck, talking to my family in an ugly tone, feeling frustrated, and then drowning in shame and guilt afterwards. But here's what changed for me. The Bible says in Romans 12:2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I've always wondered how do we actually take our thoughts captive and renew our mind? Here's the thing. Real change doesn't start with your kids behaving better or life getting smoother. It starts with your thoughts. That's exactly why I created the Renewed Mindset course for Christian moms. This is a 5-week self-paced course created specifically for the mom who feels trapped in negativity, controlling tendencies, harsh self-talk, and impossible expectations. The mom who loves her kids deeply but struggles with her thoughts, her attitude, and her reactions when things do not go her way. Inside this course, you will learn how to take your negative thoughts captive and replace them with life-giving biblical truth so you can show up with patience, calm, and Christ-like compassion even when your kids are testing every last nerve. The course officially releases in January, but the pre-sale is open right now. The price will go up by $50 in January. When you join during pre-sale, you will also get instant access to 4 positive motherhood affirmation recordings to help you begin renewing your mind today. If you are ready to stop letting negativity and control run your motherhood and start walking in peace, this is your next step. You can find the link in the show notes. Happy New Year. I am so thrilled that you are here. Maybe you found this podcast because you want to make some big changes in the new year. And I want those changes for you as well. So today you actually stumbled on a really great podcast episode. This is a podcast episode that is very special to me. This is an actual training that I pulled from my signature coaching program. Calm Christian Mom is my signature in-depth 12-week coaching program for Christian moms that struggle with out-of-control anger and they need some guidance and hand-holding, somebody to guide them step by step and keep them accountable. I also have a passive course that I just released in January, which is self-paced and you go through it at your own time. And it's just the mindset piece from my signature coaching program, which this lesson is actually in both the in-depth Calm Christian Mom coaching program and in the Renewed Mindset course. This lesson is really, really good. I learned a lot of these things from my mindset coach, Tessa Romero, and I want to give credit where credit is due, but I know that you will find it so helpful. And if you want that in-depth transformation, you want somebody to help you step by step, reach out to me. The link is in the show notes. Join Calm Christian Mom coaching program or join us in the Renewed Mindset course. Either way, I would love to support you. All right, let's get this lesson started. In this lesson, we are going to learn about your identity as a mom and how that is so crucial in the way that you show up as a mom every single day. We are going to learn how to create your I am statement that aligns with God's calling. So let's dive in. Why your identity matters. I know as believers, our true identity is in Christ, and we have a lot of other things that contribute to our identity. Your identity in motherhood is who you believe you are as a mom, who you are as a person. Your identity guides your mindset, what you choose to think. It guides your feelings and your actions, and that's why identifying who you are as a mom is really, really important. If your internal identity says, I'm overwhelmed, I'm failing, I'm exhausted, your thoughts and behaviors will align with that identity, who you believe you are,
and it's not going to be honoring to the Lord. So your identity plus your mindset equals your action. You will not accidentally become the mom that you want to be. You gotta put intention into it. Your identity, again, who you believe you are as a mom, speaks to your mind. So every I am statement, it's a command to your mind. I am frustrated. I am angry. I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed out. I'm tired. It's a command to your mind. So it tells your mind, think like her, feel like her, act like her. And so whatever follows your I am statement becomes a direction your motherhood walks towards. So if you're thinking, I am overwhelmed, you're going to feel like somebody who's overwhelmed and act like somebody who's overwhelmed. And we'll dive in a little bit deeper here. Right now, when you are starting on this journey, chances are your identity is unintentional. If you do not work intentionally on who you want to be and the kind of mom God is calling you to be, you will end up with an unintentional identity. So many of our identity labels, who we believe we are, comes from past experiences, childhood conditioning, who your parents say you were. You are loud, you're annoying, you are angry, you're reactive, you're a perfectionist, right? Cultural pressure and seasons of struggle that we experienced. So examples of unintentional identity are, I am an anxious mom. I am a pushover mom. I am an angry mom. I am an overwhelmed mom all the time. I am exhausted. And we'll talk about the difference between feelings and who you really are. Your identity shapes your behavior. So the way that you talk to yourself and describe yourself is a choice. You don't have to describe yourself in negative ways. If you say, I am overwhelmed, your behavior is going to follow. You're going to think overwhelming thoughts. I can't handle this. This is too much. You're mentally going to shut down or isolate. You're going to start coping in poor ways. For example, scrolling on your phone, buying on Amazon, emotional eating or drinking. You might even start yelling at the kids or your husband, projecting your overwhelm on them. So your identity creates who you believe you are, creates an emotion, which leads to an action. And I will teach you how to shift out of that. The power of your I am statement. When you say, I am overwhelmed, you're instructing your mind to think overwhelming thoughts, feel overwhelming emotions, and behave like someone who is overwhelmed. So your words shape your internal world. Your words really do matter, and they make a big difference. It is okay to feel overwhelmed, and we'll talk about that right here. You must separate the difference between who you are and what you feel. You are not your feelings. You are not an overwhelmed, angry, failing, or exhausted mom. You are a mom who sometimes feels overwhelmed. You are a mom who sometimes feels angry. You are a mom who sometimes feels like she's failing. You are a mom who sometimes feels like she's exhausted. You are experiencing a feelings, and the feelings can be processed, worked through, and supported. And you can do something about a feeling. It's not who you are, it's what you feel. So here are examples. Instead of saying, I am tired, you say, I feel tired, and I'm an intentional and productive woman. You use your I am statement, and I'll teach you how to create one later in this video. Instead of saying, I am overwhelmed, you say, I feel overwhelmed, and I am an action-taking, problem-solving woman. I can do something about this. Or just saying, I feel overwhelmed. You're giving your feeling a name instead of identifying that that is who you are. Instead of I am angry, I feel angry, and with God's help, I can be kind and responsive. You can feel an emotion and still choose how you show up in that moment. We'll dive in so much deeper into that. So right now you have a story in your mind, and you gotta name it out loud if you want it to change. You cannot change the things that you have not named, the things that are just swirling in your head. We gotta acknowledge where we are at right now. Let's be honest. Moms often repeat an internal I am statements like, I am tired. I'm not enough. I'm failing with my kids. I am doing this alone. I am overwhelmed. I am angry. I'm exhausted. I'm the worst mom. How do those words make you feel? I am the worst mom. So if we think of that, how do those words make you feel? For me, if I speak those statements over myself, they lead me to feeling defeated, hopeless, out of control, heavy, sad, worn out, discouraged, or feeling frustrated. So your identity shapes your emotional experience. Who you believe you are directly shapes your emotional experience as a mom. And here are the emotional consequences. If the emotional state is negative, it affects the way that you react to your kids. You're going to be snapping at the kids. You're going to be shutting down, scrolling to numb, isolating, losing your patience, rage cleaning, avoiding responsibilities. Anger, the emotion of anger is not the problem. It's who you believe you are, and what you choose to do is the problem. It's not because you're a bad mom. You're not a bad mom. It's because your current identity is misaligned with who God says you are. So my question for you is, would you like to change those behaviors? Would you like to feel tired, annoyed, frustrated, or angry and still respond in a God-honoring way that you are proud of? I'm confident you would. So you can feel an emotion and still make a good choice, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. So first, take out your workbook and you're going to go through your identity lesson and craft your identity statement. This is step 1, God's calling over your life. So get your workbook out and I want you to ask yourself this question: who is God calling me to be in this season? And I want you to get really quiet and still to hear from God. Create some space to hear from God. Here are great examples if we look at Jesus and the way that he approached children. What was he like? Kids were obviously gravitated towards him. They wanted to spend time with him. There's plenty of Bible verses that talk about disciples telling the kids to leave Jesus because they wanted to be around him. He was that type of person. So what was he like? Gentle, present, warm, attentive, loving, safe, intentional, approachable, soft, safe, right? This is the direction that we're aligning towards. It's not about perfection, but a Christ-like character. And we're going to pick 3 character qualities that God is calling you to work on specifically this season in life. So your future identity, which is like a vision of what kind of mom that you want to be, write it down. If there were no limitations, who would I want to be as a mom? Let's not look at like, oh, this is where I'm at right now. This is not possible for me. But if there was no limitation, what kind of mom would you want to be? For example, you could write down, I want to wake up with peace and purpose. I want to speak life into my home. I want to show up with Christ's love to my children. I want a home full of warmth and joy. This is a desire that was placed in your heart by God. If you are a Christian and a believer and you love the Lord, your desires will be aligned with his desires, especially if you ask him, Lord, help me have the desires that you have. Lord, help me align my desires with your desires. And God will do that for you. So ask yourself, this is the mom I want to be. And as her, I would feel blank and I would do blank as the mom that I want to be. In step 3, we're going to be choosing your identity words. Who God made you to be already exists within you. So from your workbook, I want you to highlight any word that inspires you. I have a list of a lot of character qualities that are all positive and that are honoring to the Lord. And I want you to highlight every word that inspires you. So when you look at that list, you're like, wow, if I was that type of mom, I would really be proud of the way that I show up at the end of the day. I would love to be this type of mom for my kids. In that list, there's a lot of great words, and they are also trigger words for you specifically. For example, the word calm is a really great character quality, but it might feel very stressful to you to be calm. Let's say you were told to calm down a lot as a child, or you have this pressure in your mind, I have to be calm, I have to be calm. And so that word calm in itself is a really great word, but it feels really stressful to you. So there's other similar words in there. For example, like grounded or peaceful. You might feel really drawn towards grounded, even though it means the same thing as calm, but you feel expanded and excited when you think of the word grounded or peaceful versus the word calm. So we're going to highlight all the words that inspire you. I want you to pause this training and look through this list of all the words on there and highlight them or circle them, the ones that really inspire you. Now, once you've done that, I want you to write them out and group the similar words together because there's a lot of words that are really similar. For example, calm, grounded, peaceful, stable, emotionally steady. All of them are really similar and they really mean the same thing. So we're going to put them in similar groups and then we're going to find one word that really lights you up. So now you have those similar groups. Maybe you have 3 or 4 groups or 5 groups. Now I want you to pick the words that really light you up. Like when you read that word, you're like, wow, that just lights me up. When I think of the word thriving in motherhood, like being a thriving mom, that just brings a smile to my face. But joy-filled is really similar, but I feel like I have to be joy-filled as a Christian, right? And so you feel a little bit of resistance towards that word. So we're going to cross that one out and we're going to leave the word thriving because that one is really the one that lights you up, even though they're really similar. Because if you are a mom who's thriving, you're also going to be joy-filled. Do you see what I mean? If you feel stuck, I want you to ask yourself some questions. Who do I want to be known as? When my kids grow up and they're out of the house, how do I want to be known as? How do I want my kids to remember me? When they think back to their childhood, how do I want them to remember their mom? Or maybe how would I want my husband to describe me? Angry, frustrated, reactive? Probably not. This is my wife. She is a thriving mom. She is so adaptive. She's so flexible in the circumstances that she is given. She's lighthearted. She's easygoing. She's playful with the kids. What would you want him to say about you? It needs to be words that really, really light you up and that inspire you, and they feel so, so powerful for you as well. I really want you to pray for God to help you pick the words that He really wants you to work on for the next few months. I really want you to pray over these words and ask God to help you pick 3 words that really align with who God is calling you to be in this season in motherhood. And these 3 identity words will inspire you. They're going to stretch you out of your comfort zone. They're going to motivate you. And they're going to reflect who God is forming within you. Here are examples of power words: nurturing, grounded, joyful, confident, gentle, faithful. They're from 3 different groups: present, playful, patient, peaceful, prayerful, diligent. Your I am statement should create a hopeful pull for you and a longing to become more like Christ. In step 5, we're going to be creating your I am statement and putting it together. Now turn to your identity words and look into your I am statement. Now turn your identity words into your I am statement. For example, I am lighthearted, patient, and adaptive. So this is who I'm choosing to be. This is who God is shaping me into in this season. And this is who I will show up as today. So for some moms in my coaching program, just writing down the I am statement feels really aligned. It feels really good. And for some other moms, they really like to put in front of the I am statement, because of God and the power of the Holy Spirit, I am adaptive, I am lighthearted, and I am thriving as a mom. Whatever your words are, that God gives you the strength to show up in that way. And now we're going to expand your I am statement, something a little bit longer that really inspires you. You can leave it as is, but most moms, I encourage them to expand their I am statement. And so describe this mom, the 3 words that you chose. Describe what her daily life looks like. How does she show up during the day? How does she carry herself? How does she think, feel, and speak and act? So I want to ask you those questions. If this is the mom that you are choosing to be, what would it look like for her to show up throughout the day? For example, she speaks calmly even when she feels frustrated. She pauses instead of reacting. She plays and laughs with her kids. She makes room for silence and prayer. She nurtures emotional connection. She slows down and she is engaged with her kids. This becomes your roadmap. So who you want to be paired with what it looks like in your day-to-day life. And then we're going to create an extended I am statement. And here are some examples. I am present and playful, embracing each moment with patience and a lighthearted spirit. I am intentional in understanding, approaching life with a joyful heart and a commitment to nurture those around me. I am a calm authority, faithfully guiding my children with love and understanding. I am peaceful and prayerful, diligently seeking God's wisdom to lead my family with connection. I am a stable and gentle presence in my home, finding purpose and joy in the simple moments of motherhood. Here are more examples. I am positive with my thoughts and words, setting an encouragement tone for my family. I am steady in my presence, a solid rock my children can count on. I am vibrant in spirit, filling our home with laughter, creativity, and warmth. I am lighthearted and playful with my kids. I choose to be adaptive in the circumstances I am given. I am a thriving mom, reflecting God's goodness with my words and actions. I am engaged and a grounded presence in my home. I am gentle and responsive, speaking with kindness that nurtures my children's hearts. I am intentional, guiding my family with thoughtfulness and purpose. Now, here's the next step. Once you craft your finalized I am statement, and listen, it might take you a week or 2, and I will help you craft yours as well. If you're in the Calm Christian Mom Coaching Program, on our one-on-one call, I will help you craft this I am statement and make it your own that is really inspiring and motivating for you. I want you to write it down on a sticky note and place it on your bathroom mirror. Yes, I want you to do that. Every morning, I want you to look at yourself in the mirror, smile, and speak that life-giving I am statement over yourself. Let it be a root in your heart. Let it root in your heart a little bit more each day. So if you want to show up as that mom that you have written down on that piece of paper, it requires practice, intention, and surrender. Does it feel uncomfortable when you do this? When you look at yourself, you smile and you speak the I am statement over yourself. Yes, it feels uncomfortable. Yes, it feels awkward. Yes, it feels vulnerable. Yes, it feels unfamiliar. And I want you to stick with it. The more you do it, the better it feels. And the more you are going to step into that role as a mom. That means that you're growing. That growth is happening, and I want you to keep going, and growth is always and always uncomfortable. Your identity is not fixed. My friend, you are allowed to evolve over time. Your I am statement can shift every few months. When seasons change, when your babies grow, when you have life transitions, when God continues to shape you. Because as you're continually working intentionally on this specific I am statement for the next few months, you're really going to grow into this person. And after a few months, you are going to be like, well, this is who I am. Like it will naturally come to you and you're going to be inspired by other words and have other areas in motherhood that you would like to work on. So, my friend, step into who God created you to be. You will not accidentally become the mom you want to be. But with identity, your mindset, and aligned action, and with God's help, you will grow into the mother God is calling you to be and the mom that you really want to be. Because if you love the Lord, your desires are aligned with His desires. All right, friend, this is the end of the identity lesson. I will see you in the next lesson.
I hope you walk away feeling inspired and motivated after listening this lesson and knowing that there's hope for transformation. Here's the thing. There's a very big difference between listening to podcast episodes and audiobooks and actually implementing the things that you're learning. I do not want you to be one of those people that just listens to this podcast, be like, oh, this is awesome and great, and not implement it in your daily life. If you are lost in your motherhood, if you feel completely stuck, if you hate the way that you show up as a mom, you hate that there's all these negative memories for your children, that their childhood is passing by and your motherhood is just so negative, it's weighing you down, every day you dread, you cry yourself to sleep, and you just hate how you've been showing up so far, and you really, 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 truly want to make transformation and changes in the new year, I want to invite you to book a free consultation call and join Calm Christian Mom Coaching Program. On that call, you get to share your story, and I get to listen to your story. And if at the end, you and I both feel like Calm Christian Mom Coaching Program is the next best step for you, I will give you all the details and invite you into the coaching program. There's no pressure to join. This is an invitation. This is for the mama who is committed to making changes in the new year. You're not stuck. There's hope for transformation. I promise you, you can change your old ways with God's help and the right support. I've seen it over and over again. I've worked with over 30 plus women that have went through my signature program, Calm Christian Mom, and so many of them had absolutely transformational experiences. And you're going to listen to some of these women and their testimonies in the next few months. And I cannot wait for you to hear their stories. If you want that support, I want to invite you to book that free consultation call. The link is in the show notes. Your motherhood can be transformed. You're not stuck. There's so much hope for you, friend. I'll talk to you soon.
Hey mama, do you find yourself snapping over the smallest things, like spilled milk or constant whining, then feeling horrible afterwards? If you're tired of losing your temper and you want to show up with more patience, I have something for you. It's a free training called How to Be More Patient with Your Kids so you're not screaming over spilled milk. Inside, I'll walk you through 10 simple things you can start doing today to become a calmer, more Christ-like mom, even on the hard days. To get it for free, just leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and send a screenshot to hello@emotionallyhealthylegacy.com. Or if you'd rather skip the wait, you can grab it right now for just $27. The link is in the show notes. Let's help you become the peaceful, patient mom your kids need.